Hi, welcome to the Street Smart Concepts YouTube channel. My name is Roman Acosta and I'm the lead tech here at Street Smart Concepts. In today's video, we're going to give you a brief rundown on how to install a set of fender flares on a Fiat Abarth. As you can see here, I start off by removing material from the rear quarter panel. How much material you actually have to remove depends on how low you want to go. In this particular case, this customer is going with about 1 3/4 inch drop. I always like to start with cutting about 1 inch to 1 1/4 inch worth of material. You're going to want to make sure you take your time here and get a nice even cut all the way across, as it'll only make the next step that much easier, which is going to be to roll the fenders. I prefer to do this by hand with a hammer and dolly. As you can see here, I'm using a regular ball peen hammer and a rubber mallet as my dolly. This works perfectly fine as long as you take your time. The overall goal here is to get a nice flat lip all the way across, which will give you about another 1/2 inch to 3/4 inch worth of clearance. Again, take your time with this step. Once you're satisfied with that, you can proceed to grinding away as much of the factory undercoating, seam sealer, and paint from underneath the fender well. This burns really easily and smells really bad when it burns, so get as much of it off as possible. After that, you can start welding. You're going to want to make sure you take your time here. Use as little heat as possible. You want to avoid getting too much heat in the panel and therefore warping the panel. As you can see, short little burst. All you want here is a nice tack about every 2 inches or so. Once you're finished with that, you can proceed to priming. Mask off as much of the area as possible to avoid getting overspray on the paint. One step that I did forget to shoot, unfortunately, was before I proceeded to weld, I did spray a weldable primer between the two panels to avoid having any rust issues down the line. Once you move to spraying the underside of the fender well, make sure you mask off your brakes, again, just to avoid having any overspray on those parts. Once I'm done with that, I like to apply a thin coat of seam sealer between the two panels, again, just to avoid having any issues down the line with rust. You want to avoid any water seeping in between the two panels. Once you're satisfied with that, you can move to the front, which is a lot easier. There's no welding to do in the front, simply cut and roll. Again, take your time, make sure you get a nice even cut all the way across. As you can see here, again, about 1 inch to 1 1/4 inch worth of material. After that, you can proceed to rolling the fender. Same steps as before. Take your time, make sure you get a nice flat lip all the way across. Again, just in case you do happen to bottom out, you're not going to have that sharp edge pointing directly at the tire. I hope this video helps. If you have any questions, feel free to give us a call. All of the information will be at the end of this video. Thanks for watching.